Welcome back. All right, so before I get into this game, I'd like to talk about the broadcasting of this game south of the border. So it ended up being on ESPN2. Now it was delayed. The start time, the NHL wanted it to be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, but ESPN said no. ESPN had to put on a baseball game in mid May that doesn't really mean anything because it's a 162 game season. And so this got bumped to ESPN2 when that baseball game wasn't done in time for the 7 o'clock Pacific start, rather than just putting it on ESPN2 to start with. And then it flipped over to ESPN as soon as the baseball game was done. And this is how hockey works now. So, anyways, not that I think that an earlier start would have meant a different result, but for the NHL, this was a last chance for people to, tune in and watch Connor McDavid. And if you're on the East Coast, I can totally understand if you didn't stay up to watch this because that's late on a Sunday night, right? So, yeah, I can't see the ratings for this being as high as they would have been had they put it on at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And this is the kind of issue that the NHL's had south of the border before. And then I think to myself, meanwhile, I don't think Sportsnet had any say in it at all. So there's that. I mean Rogers is paying a lot of money to broadcast the NHL in Canada, and it doesn't feel like they have say in when the games are played or anything. So it's odd. Anyways, we start off with Hill versus Skinner. I did say after the last game I would go with Campbell, and there are some questions to be answered coming out of tonight's game. Riley Smith scores on the first shot. It was a Skinner turnover, and Smith buries it from the slot at 24 seconds. So rough start for Skinner and the Oilers. It's the first time that Vegas had scored first in this series. They haven't really been worried about scoring first. They've been pretty good at come from behind wins. Now, to their credit, the Oilers answer right away. It's at 55 seconds. McDavid scores from Kulak and Kane. It's a one-timer on his own entry. And it was a nice goal by McDavid, and it felt like this could be a really high scoring game because this was the first shot for the Oilers as well. Vegas then looks to answer. Barbashev has a shot that's held, and then at 2:43, Fogle. It's a one timer from the slot after a good forecheck. Ryan and McLeod with the assists, and that was the second shot of the game. So it looked like Hill might have a long night. The Oilers are ahead 2-1. They scored on their first two shots. This could be a really high scoring game. It did not turn out that way. Darnay then has a shot deflect out. The Oilers press at 3.5 minutes. Draisaitl has a net feed that's blocked. The Oilers are forcing turnovers. They had a very good first period. Martinez has a shot that's held. Fogle has a net feed that's covered. The shots are 5-4 in favor of Edmonton. 6 minutes in. Oilers with some momentum in this. Costin has a rush chance that's saved. Draisaitl to Ceci. There's a near miss. Vegas then rushes the other way. Ekholm has a shot deflect wide. There's a near miss for Kane, and then that's cleared out. Carrier has a wraparound chance that was saved. The fans call one, the referee doesn't. Whitecloud has a shot that's blocked during this, and the fans decide to start the "ref, you suck" chant. It's the only time I heard it tonight. I guarantee it was probably in the arena at other times as well, though. Howden has a net feed that's picked off. Marchessault has a shot that's saved as Vegas presses. Bluger gets dinged on a shot block. He would stay in the game. Sticks and passing lanes by the Oilers. They're doing to Vegas in the first period what Vegas did to them last game. Oilers press with 5 minutes left. Kane can't bury one in close. Yamamoto has a fast break. That's defended. Petrangelo has a screenshot. That's held. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to Yamamoto. There's a near miss there. And so after the first period, the score is 2-1 in favor of the Oilers. Second period, early jump for Edmonton. There's a near miss from Marchessault. Skinner holds. Eichel has a shot deflect out. The Oilers press. Vegas blocks. The shots on net are 3-0 for Vegas at 4 minutes. Draisaitl has a shot that's blocked. And then Marchessault scores to tie it. And he buries a rebound to get it. Barbashev and Eichel with the assists at 4:26. The Oilers look to answer. Roy has a shot deflect out as Vegas presses. And then Marchessault taps one in. So it bounces up over top of Skinner. Lands on the ice right in front of the goal line. And Marchessault puts it in. Martinez and Barbashev with the assists at 7:44. Puck just bounces over Skinner. He wasn't able to hold on to it. And so Vegas suddenly has their first lead of the game at 3-2. Oilers look to answer. Yamamoto has a net feed. That's blocked. Ekholm has a shot that's blocked as the Oilers press. And I didn't put it on the board, but it looks like, Ekholm gets caught with a stick in the third that could have been a 4-minute. But I would think the referee probably saw that and figured it was a follow-through, and you don't get those calls on follow-throughs. Ryan has a shot that's held. The Oilers press with 9 minutes left. There's a near miss for Draisaitl. Vegas clears. We get a power play for the Oilers. They cycle. Draisaitl's denied. Hyman has a shot that's held. There's some pushing. The Oilers cycle. They prevent a clear. McDavid can't bury one. We get more cycling. Draisaitl has a blast that's held. It's killed off. 4 shots. 4 shots on that power play. It was the only power play the Oilers had in the game. Nurse blocking. Skinner holds on the next cycle of events. Then there's some cycling and a 2-on-1. Near miss for Ekholm. It's cleared. Hyman has a net feed that's picked off. And then with 3:28 left, Vegas gets a power play. The fans disagree because they wanted a call on Vegas on the exact same turn of events. I was actually kind of surprised at the penalty they did call there. But at any rate, now we get to it. Nurse blocking. Skinner holds. They cycle. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that ends up drawing a penalty on Vegas. So it makes it 4-on-4 for 119. Ideally, you end up getting to the power play for 41 seconds if you're the Oilers. It doesn't take much for them to score, but then we had 39 seconds of 4-on-3 for Vegas. It was a boarding call on Ekholm. He argued the whole way to the box, but I did think it was a penalty. I understood why he was upset. And then just after it became a 4-on-4, so they technically killed that penalty. But Marchessault would score from Pietrangelo and Eichel at 18:36. It's a 4-on-4 goal, wired from the right face-off circle if you're Skinner, left face-off circle if you're watching on TV, as I was. So, and again, it was so close. Theodore has a rush chance that's saved. We end up going back to 5-on-5 with no further action. But those 3 goals in the second period, the natural hat trick for Marchessault. Vegas is up 4-2, and I already started putting together a big board for Canadian teams not getting the Stanley Cup as soon as the second period was done. Got a bunch of numbers on the board, and I'll be working on getting that one done tomorrow. And I mean, I'm using the board that's much larger than this one for that. After the second period, it's 4-2 for Vegas, and you just know Vegas isn't losing a 2-goal lead in a game where they have a chance to clinch. Third period, Campbell was in the net. He looked good. He wasn't busy in the third, but he looked good. There are some questions to be answered about the Edmonton Oilers in the offseason. I will be doing a video, of course, on their elimination. Eichel has a shot deflect out. Early press then by the Oilers. Kane can't bury one. Foegele to Ceci. There's a near miss there. Kane's denied on a 3-on-2. Bluger then had a chance. That was held. Bouchard has a shot that's blocked. Vegas clears. The shots are 3-1 for Edmonton at 7 minutes. Hill, heroics, as the Oilers are pressing. The only way I could put it, because there were numerous highlight reel saves by Hill at this point in the game. Although Edmonton didn't really get that many prime chances as the period went along. So Howden has a rush chance that's saved. The rebound's cleared. The Oilers press at 9 minutes. Ryan has a net feed that deflects to the corner. Hill holds on to another net feed, and he had been perfect since the goals on the first 2 shots. Completely forgotten by the third period. Again, big Aiden Hill fan. Starting to think if I get names on the back of Vegas jerseys, because I have the 2 Marc-Andre Fleury's, if I get names on the back of their jerseys, maybe I'll get an Aiden Hill. But the shots on net are only 6-3 for the Oilers with 7 minutes left. And think about it. So 13 minutes, they've got 6 shots. They spent a lot of that time in the Vegas zone. They're just not getting the shots out of it. So Vegas defending a lot, but they're doing quite well at it. Ekholm was down. The fans wanted a call, but nope, that's the 4-minute that they wanted for the high stick. That, again, referee, it looked like, decided it was a follow-through. So, Marchessault has a rush chance. That's held as he was going for his 4th goal of the game. The Oilers press with 5 minutes left. More blocks by Vegas. Vegas was blocking everything they could. Everything that got through to Hill, mildly dangerous, but not as dangerous as Edmonton might have wanted. McDavid gets robbed on a net drive. The goalie pull happens with 3:30 left. Bouchard has a tip shot that saved. Draisaitl can't bury one from a sharp angle. One thing I didn't put on the board because I knew I'd remember when I was doing this video for all you fine people on the internet, Eichel's back checking on McDavid was something to behold. And, Eichel clearly has this rivalry with McDavid because of the 2015 draft. And I think it came through in this series. Bjugstad fires one wide. We were down to the final minute at this point. Eventually, Vegas gets the puck out, and they score. The empty netter is Carlson from Roy at 19:21. So your final score is 5-2 for Vegas. For the Golden Knights, they win this series in 6. They won in the first round in 5. So they've only lost 3 games in the playoffs so far. I don't know if either Dallas or Seattle can stop them at this point. This is 4 conference final runs in 6 years for the Vegas Golden Knights. So Absolutely ridiculous how well they have navigated the start of their existence as a National Hockey League team. The 3 stars, there was only one on the app last time I checked, which was Marchessault, which makes sense. He would be number one on my list. I would also give Aiden Hill the 2nd star because Hill played so well after allowing those goals on the first 2 shots. Other goalies might melt down after that. My 3rd star is Eichel. Eichel had a couple of helpers tonight, and I really was impressed with his play in the third period and the fact that he was playing the full 200-foot game. Eichel has really improved in Vegas. We talk a lot about the Eichel trade now. It helped Buffalo, and it did. It also helped Eichel. So the shots on net in this one, 15-7 Edmonton in the first, 13-10 Edmonton in the second, 13-5 Oilers in the third. Final shots are 41-22 for Edmonton. That does tell part of the story. Power plays, Vegas 0 for 2, Edmonton 0 for 1. Hits 45-22 for the Oilers. So the Oilers hit a lot. Just in the end, they get all the shots and the hits. They just didn't get the goals. Aiden Hill, 39 saves in a row after allowing goals on the first 2 shots, so he saves 39 out of 41. Skinner saved 13 out of 17. Campbell saved 4 out of 4. I don't understand why Campbell didn't start this game. I thought Skinner was figured out by Vegas by 2 or 3 games into this series. It was pretty clear they had a game plan when it came to Skinner, and their shooting percentage was high in this series. And so, again, the Oilers, their season is now done. It's another year for McDavid and Draisaitl, and it's another disappointment. And not only that, but they were in the conference final last year. They lose in the second round this year. It feels like they're going backwards. But that's a discussion for another time as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.